प्रोडक्शन वाले हैं, उन्हें अगर कोई नए चेंज कराने हैं, उस पर कमेंट देते हैं, हमारे पास नोटिफिकेशन आते हैं, हम उस पर इजीली काम करके दे देते हैं।
Most of our products were point of use purification devices. So today now we have point of use taps also, because this is something very unique to India, that nobody else is doing it. So we are now designing it in a way so that we can reduce the cost further, can make it more simpler, easy to afford for every household.
Check. Ladies and gentlemen, we are waiting for our honorable chief guest, and we will start shortly. Thank you.
India is home to fifth highest reserves of iron ore in the world. Easy availability of manpower and abundant iron ore reserves have made India competitive in the global steel industry. With India's finished steel consumption anticipated to increase to 230 million tons, innovation in steel processing has grown rapidly. At the heart of steel processing are cold rolling mills that shape steel into this ideal form for manufacturing. A leading flat steel change with its innovative and sustainable designs. Their cold rolling mill designs have resulted in 2 to 3% reduction in the rolling power consumption. Additionally, 356 tons of CO2 emissions are saved every year.
We started this group as DigiDrive, way back in 1993. So our focus has been on the process and the automation, and which then helped us to start this new venture, Yogi GDD, for the flat steel process equipment supply and design and manufacturing. The biggest challenge we face is the equipment we make is so big, and so it takes so much time, from the scratch to build the equipment. We have been able to overcome this challenge using the SOLIDWORKS, simulation platform, and we could find that whatever the results we could achieve practically are very close to what we have been getting through the simulation results.
In a high-speed rolling mill which we manufacture, the accuracy precision is down to microns. So there's no scope for error in that, and for that the design needs to be absolutely perfect. With SolidWorks, it has made life a lot easier, because you just have to create a working model of the machine on the CAD software, and when we are satisfied with that, the software generates the bill of material for you. The bill of material, which used to take like 2 days, I can send to my vendor or the customer in just 2 hours now.
We have always been focusing on conservation of energy and the environmental impact of the equipment what we develop here. And so we have developed these cold rolling mills, which we can call them as green solutions because they consume less CO2 emissions. Most of the steel production mills use a lot of water in the process, and our mills, we have designed our mills to use, consume less and less of water compared to the other mills, and we are able to save around 3.2 million liters of water on each mill every year.
Well, in one of our case studies, we designed the mill housing and the complete cold rolling mill assembly for one of our customers, which ultimately helped us in reducing the weight of the mill housing by up to 30%.
Basically, I was the one who started the project management team here at Yogi DG last year. So earlier, what I noticed was that many of the departments, they were working in their own silos. So sometimes working in these silos, it created a friction between different departments. But with the lean team player, everyone is on a common dashboard. Even if I'm traveling or one of my project engineers is at the site, he can just document the observations that he made at the site, and he can just put it online to the lean team player. And I can on the go, I can just take my tab and write my comments. And even in the times of adversity, if a person is facing any challenge, I have noticed people just posting it on the community, and the other team members helping him with the suggestions, or taking some responsibility of that project on them. And so I think this has brought the team much more closer.
The 3D Lean has helped us to collaborate between our design and manufacturing on a real-time basis. And it also helps in the assembly of the goods, because we manufacture such big lines. Each of lines are more than 150 meters, sometimes 200 meters long. As the world is getting smaller and smaller, and it gets interconnected, and there are so many, the supply chains are intertwined. And so we feel a lot of opportunity for us across the world, and our product is being accepted everywhere on account of the quality and the yield and the productivity. And we can proudly say that we are making in India for the world.
Your SOLIDWORKS designs are always evolving, and when inspiration strikes, your ideas can't be limited by your CAD system. 3D Experience Works unleashes your creativity and brings your ideas to life with next-generation cloud-based tools for freeform subdivision surfacing, traditional parametric modeling, algorithmic design, and more. Everything you create seamlessly integrates with your SOLIDWORKS designs. Built-in collaboration tools make it easy to share ideas and feedback, document and mark up design issues, and stay organized with team assignments. Watch and see how you can expand your 3D modeling toolbox to enhance your SOLIDWORKS experience and unlock endless design possibilities. Start your design with reference images, or jump right into sculpting with X-Shape. Subdivision modeling begins with a primitive shape. You can adjust the size and mesh parameters. Use the manipulator to push and pull the surface like digital clay. No need to spend hours creating sketches and surfacing features. Snap entities to a line that you can click and drag the endpoints of. When you need more detail in your surface, subdivide or extrude faces, or insert entirely new edge loops. Add creased edges to your surface for style or function, and adjust their smoothness and severity. When you're modeling from 2D sketches, you can jump from one profile to another, making adjustments. Align your surface to a curve you can draw on screen with your cursor. Copy and paste previous surfaces to explore new concepts. Scale them if you need to, and then continue sculpting. Use the Reflect tool to create a mirrored copy of your subdivision surface. jump into a section view while modeling. And don't forget to check for manufacturability with draft analysis. When checking the quality of your surface, use mesh inspection to identify intersecting elements. The cage view shows the mesh from which the curved surface is generated. When you need to focus on a portion of the surface, isolate it with the working zone so the rest of the model is left untouched. As your surfaces become more complex, use soft selection to affect more vertices at once. Adjust the radius of influence to sculpt only the areas you need. Flatten areas of the surface to use as sketch planes. Take advantage of parametric features from XDesign. Or bring your subdivision surface into SOLIDWORKS to add similar details. If you decide to stay on the cloud, monitor your performance from the system status. Switch from a fillet to a chamfer on the fly. Skip the sketch and start extruding faces. With super features, you can toggle between extrude, revolve, and sweep. You can even stop and make a new sketch while in the middle of a command. Leverage both cosmetic and physical thread options for holes and studs. While thickening faces, any problematic areas are highlighted, so you can adjust your surface or thickness accordingly. The single modeling environment allows you to create new components from features or bodies and makes rearranging your components and subassemblies simpler than ever. When your model calls for it, seamlessly switch to other cloud apps for different types of design. X-generative design takes an algorithmic approach to modeling, combining interactive 3D geometry and visual scripting. Use operator boxes to quickly generate complex patterns and see your model evolve. If changes are ever needed to the original geometry, use the built-in lifecycle tools to and organize the revisions and branches of your design. Prepare with integrated additive manufacturing tools. Connect to a cloud machine or input custom metrics to match your machine's build volume and technology. Visualize the support required according to overhang threshold specific to your 3D printer. And anticipate level of detail with a custom layer height preview. Export in the latest additive manufacturing formats to go from digital model to physical product. Subdivision modeling is great for this type of ergonomic design, but you can also use it to add style to structural components. Use the flex command to taper your surface along a direction. Align your selection to a sketch or curve in the model. Go from a box selection to a lasso and align vertices to each other. Use Boolean commands like combine and subtract for multi-body workflows. Add holes to your model from a vast library of standard sizes. Your favorite parametric surfacing tools are available when you need them, but you could also use sketches to define a subdivision surface, then sculpt it into your desired shape. Take advantage of other applications like lattice design to lightweight components and retain structural integrity. The Lattice Design Assistant walks you through the process step by step. First, specify the area for lattice generation. Then select the type of lattice you want to apply. Create your own cell structure or choose from a preloaded menu. Adjust the size, shape, and orientation of your lattice and generate a wireframe preview. The custom polyhedral merged with your original geometry. And once again, the built-in lifecycle tools help you stay organized as you experiment with different lattice designs. When it's time to update your assembly, replace any component with a new part or revision. Search for other components and drag and drop them into your assembly. Start selecting faces to add mates between components. Mirror a component across a plane to create a symmetrical copy.
Check. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Nehal Roham, and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you on this beautiful day, wonderful occasion of SOLIDWORKS 3D Experience Innovation Day 2023. Everybody, round of applause for this wonderful day. I welcome all invited guests, SolidWorks family, and my dear friends. Thank you very much for coming here and joining with us for SolidWorks 3D Experience Innovation Day 2023. I would request everyone to please put your mobile phones on silent mode and please fill the feedback form and submit it at the end of the event. And after this, ladies and gentlemen, we are showcasing the product and you can try your hands on the experience on software in next hall, which is Royal 1. Ladies and gentlemen, how different is this morning? You will yourself discover as the colors of SolidWorks 3D Experience Innovation Day 2023 unfold. I request the team to please play video number 1. Sure. It was a really nice video. Thank you so much for that. And moving forward, I would like to call upon Mrs. Himani Huddar, the director of Pelf Infotech, to present a brief welcome note. Everybody, a round of applause for her.
Thank you, Snehal. Good morning, everyone, and welcome all on behalf of our Managing Director, Mr. Ajinkya Uddar. Actually, he could not attend it today as he is not doing well. I welcome all of you and our chief guests on behalf of myself as well as my entire Pelf team for this launch event. So, this is the 50. Okay, now we are Pelf Infotech Private Limited. We are into the market since 2002. We are mainly like going to the future through innovation, integration, and motivation. Mainly our mantras, like our company name Pelf itself, it's defined in 4 different letters, like P for professionalism, where we always be committed to our ethics in support of honesty and responsibility for all the times. E for efficacy, which is like we are more outcome oriented than the task driven. Other than that, the long-term relationship with our present customers, and we nurture this relationship with them and for the future relations also, like the internal and external also. And the flexibility in the services, like we are available in all type of support for 24/7. Our main vision is to nurture our long-term relationships, and our main mission is to have the new customer base with us, with them, which we can have a future relations. And we are actually based in all over the India for the other than the SolidWorks products. So we are maintaining relations with other customers also. Mainly we are into CAD services. Other than that, we are into the 3D printing as well as the 3D scanning services too. Okay, this is our main work arena. Like we have started in 2002. And our basic motto is like from the conceptualization to the manufacturing. In which like we are started our journey in 2002 with the SolidWorks, and after that we have added a few more partners other than the CAD services, and we are having 1,000 plus diversified client base all over the India, as well as we have established our footsteps in Asian regions like our neighbors Bangladesh and Bhutan too. In 2021, we have achieved the ISO 9001:2015 certification too. Okay, these are few of our certificates, like we are the certified training and support providers. Other than that, we are having various certifications related to GD&T, then additive manufacturing experts, and we are having all the expertise technical team with us to support all of you. And they all are certified from the Dassault systems. Well, from 2002, we have started our journey and integrated with Dassault System SolidWorks as a value-added resellers. After that, in 2007, we were awarded with the best account mapping across the defense, all the defense services and PSUs. For the Club 100% award, like we have received this award almost 3 to 4 times till date. And in 2018, we have received the prestigious President's Club Award too. And 2021, we have received the Diamond Club Award. Okay, these are like our end-to-end offerings. Like in the previous slide, I have said like we are working as from the conceptualization to the manufacturing. So these are the various solutions which we are offering, starting with the CAD CAE CFD. Then we are having the CAMWorks for the CAM services. We are having design automation. For that, we have the DriveWorks software. Other than that, for GD&T solutions, we have Sigmatrix. We are doing reverse engineering services too. For them, actually, we are having the partnership with Arctic 3D. And for the additive manufacturing, that is the 3D printing service, we are having a collaboration with Toolmaker and Big Rep. That is one of them is a Spanish company and one of them is a German technology. Okay, our 3I initiative, like we have established many fab labs across India also, and other than India in Bhutan, and our continues already, like we are still having many discussions going on across India also and internationally too. And we have established many center of excellences, and we are nurturing our startup leveraging incubator programs under the dream of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Other than that, like we are our managing director Ajinkya Uddar is already on few regulatory bodies, which is like the panel members. Like we are designing some technical curriculum for the engineering colleges, like the softwares in education part also. MSME. Other than that, we are working with TRPC Guwahati, and we have established our Fab Lab in Bhutan too. We are offering end-to-end from product designing, design validation using the simulation part. We are having 3D printer reverse engineering. Other than that, we are having the various simulations in plastic parts. We are also providing trainings as per the customer requirement. These are few projects which we have conducted on the CAD designing. These are through design analysis, like these are we have conducted for some Indian defense. I could not name because of the privacy issues, but these are the various design analysis and simulation parts we have conducted for them. These are the reverse engineering projects we are continuously doing. This is our 3D printing setup. Like we are having 3D printing solutions also. We are selling the 3D printers also, and we are providing some services. We are having different materials in that, like plastic, metal, and the composite. This is our DriveWorks automation project. For details, you can always have a word with our technical team. They are available here only. Yeah, we are actually honored to have various dignitaries from various parts who visited our setup. Like you can see Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, when she was defense minister, she visited our setup. Then Mr. Suresh Prabhu, then Mr. Baba Kalyani, everyone knows that. And other than that, on the right hand side, you can see Mr. Ajinkya Uddar with some dignitary who is a successor of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He is I think, I don't know the generation, but he's staying in Tanjavur, so he has also visited us. Okay, these are patrons and our valuable customers from various industries, like from the private industries as well as education, and other than that, the defense sector. And we are also having our customers in international market too. So we have our footprints in, basically we are in Pune, Nagpur, Kolkata, Mumbai, and other than that we have established in Delhi and Bangalore too, and internationally too, like Bhutan and Bangladesh. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I want you all to enjoy your entire day. This is our all the social media links. You can always visit on there, and please have a nice day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Himani ma'am, for your guidance. I request everyone to please fill your feedback forms and please submit it. During the breaks, we have kept a box outside the gate. You can see the registration. There is a box. Okay. So yes, now I would like to request Mr. Shiv Shankar Chakrabarti, business head, Pelf Infotech, to please give a presentation on aligning design for global business successes. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Shiv Shankar Chakrabarti.
So at the outset, very good morning to one and all. Revered Chief Guest, Padma Shri Pramod Kale sir, revered Dr. S.V. Gade sir, respected guest of honors, Lieutenant Colonel Dhiraj Devan sir, and Lieutenant Colonel Vikram Khajuria sir. On behalf of Pelf, as Mrs. Himani was mentioning, Ajinkya couldn't make it to today's session since he is not keeping well. So welcome all of you on behalf of Pelf. And I would like to also welcome all industry veterans, technocrats, and technological evangelists in this program. So going back to the presentation, as you are aware that today is the launch of SolidWorks Innovation 2023. We call it as SolidWorks Innovation Day 2023. So now how we can set the tune with the business as far as the changing dynamics is concerned. So if we look at the economic trends across the globe, we have been visualizing many tectonic shifts of late. be it global supply chain, which is reminiscent right from the day of the pandemic. The entire world is hovering into an alternative which is beyond China, and the same holds true for India also when it comes to the present regime. So that's how the global dynamics is changing across. So as we know that India, despite the upheaval in the global market scenario, India is growing in leaps and bounds. So government of India is taking many laudable initiatives. If you look at the present regime, they have started many PLI, that is performance linked incentive program for industries across. That is ultimately catapulting to, mushrooming all local industries, which they call it as Atmanirbhar. And same manufacturing profit margin. The other day I was looking at the PMI index. If you look at the manufacturing report month on month, India is catapulting to a great height, despite, as I mentioned, the upheaval. So now it comes to the sustainable development goals, which is rooted to everyone across the globe. This is not only restricted to India or any other developed nations. It is equally important for all nations across the globe. And if we have experienced the last 18th G20 summit, which was hosted by India, therein also the Mool mantra that the present regime India professed and India, gave it to the whole world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is one earth, one family, one future. So it came basically from the Sanskrit verses, which means we have to ensure a sustainable growth across, be it at any level, right from the top to the bottom of the pyramid. So when it comes to technology, also sustainable development goals is paramount. And Dassault being a French entity, in the Paris Agreement, they have also, accepted and adhered to commit when it comes to delivering sustainable technology. So affordable and clean energy, as I mentioned, that debates for net zero emission by 2050. That is a mission which all the development nations have taken. Then industry innovation and infrastructure reduce CO2 emission. That is reminiscent and evident in India also. Nowadays, if we look at the presence of EVs, be it in two-wheeler or four-wheeler, the other day I was seeing at the press release that Government of India has initiated PLI for EV manufacturing, local EV manufacturers also. So the moot objective is to ensure sustainable growth at local level. So again, sustainable cities and communities, if we look at the punchlines, the taglines which call for Swachh Bharat or Ujala mission, the parent objective is to ensure sustainable growth. So when we say sustainability, it has to percolate right from the home of individual. Then only it can mushroom across. Similarly, responsible consumption and production. So as we know that in India also, if we look at the transport industry, Honorable Union Minister Nitin Gadkari ji is taking laudable initiative when it comes to blending petrol with ethanol and EVs or hydrogen powered vehicles which are in the offing. So again, the ultimate objective, the parent cause is to reduce the CO2 emission, is to keep the globe livable, sustainable for generations, current generation as well as future generations. So same holds true for Dassault System also when it offers technology to its patrons as well as prospects. So this is a short video that will take you to the scenario and what the world thinks. Please take a glimpse.
How can we safeguard our most precious resource?
¿Cómo podemos crear un mundo energéticamente positivo? क्या हम 100% सस्टेनेबल उद्योग की कल्पना कर सकते हैं? كيفاش نخلينا نتحكموا أحسن على الصحة في المستقبل؟
Hanno tege dedegani en bawi lirta e sifa ngurdamen egedede.
Wie können wir in der Zukunft nachhaltig besser konsumieren?
Comment pouvons-nous nous déplacer dans le monde entier sans nuire à l'environnement? จะเข้าใจอดีตและสามารถเพื่ออนาคตแนวใด
Como é que podemos construir o futuro entendendo o passado?
The only progress is human. That's the system.
So that was all about the sustainability. So as I mentioned, when it comes to preaching it and practicing it, sustainability is a part of Dassault DNA. So the sustainability objectives and metrics guide us while our governance processes maintain a high level of accountability within our organization on the topic of sustainability. So, sustainability is the backbone of all technology that Dassault system has been offering. At our level, I would like to reiterate again, Pelf at our own capacity, we also do many programs which is typically centered around green initiative every year for industries across India. So we appreciate bringing them on a common platform, right from SME to mid-market, who are practicing sustainable approach in their premises, be it with renewable energy, be it with the waste disposal and management. So we as Pelf, we are also practicing this initiative at local level as well. So you people are aware the typical challenges to compete in global market, working with the global supply chains. Right from the day of pandemic, we have observed that the chip making was at a standstill, for which Indian automotive players also suffered a lot. Global regulation on quality, reliability, aviation, sustainability. So if you look at the global regulation in India, also effective October, Government of India have initiated a Bharat NCAP program, which will ensure the crashworthiness of vehicles. So India has also started thinking on that prism as per the global dynamics. Agile response and customized manufacturing, price competitiveness against peer group. So that is again one of the key area when it comes to any market segment. And in a market like India, people are, all of us are typically price conscious. So we have to strike a chord between the delivery that we are offering and the price band as well. Now coming back to 3D Experience Works, which is the latest avatar of SolidWorks. As all of us know that change is the only constant. So keeping in view that thing, Dassault system has been pioneer in incorporating cloud solution. So maybe during the day of pandemic, we all have experienced the essence of a virtual connecting platform, be it Team, Google. But Dassault as a company has been, actively promoting, actively developing this program right from 2012. So they are the pioneer in establishing this cloud-based technology. So when it comes to 3D Experience Works, this is a parallel ecosystem of on-premise desktop SolidWorks, which gives you more flexibility, more ease of use. So wherein right from RFP, concept design in browser, rendering and proposal submission, detailed design, project planning and product lifecycle management, production planning and manufacturing design validation, and final manufacturing deliverable. So as I mentioned, 3D Experience is a total ecosystem which can take care of the entire process in your industry, be it a research oriented, be it a manufacturing vertical, right from the conceptualization till the delivery, it has the solution to deliver. So this is a corollary, and I would say a more metamorphosed version of SolidWorks, which is called as 3D Experience Works. So transformation one is work faster in global value chain. Sequential processing is not sustainable. Faster product development cycle with ModSim on platform. ModSim is again an acronym that we use in our parlance, that is for modeling and simulation. So if you look at the typical industrial scenario, whenever any designer is conceptualizing any product, any idea, it has to ultimately come to the market, and it has to be worthy of use, viable both financially as from also from engineering perspective. So that's the reason that a product has to be simulated in real world conditions. vis-a-vis virtually also. So when we say mod sim, Dassault systems give you an entire ecosystem wherein in the same interface you can conceptualize vis-a-vis carry out the simulation also. When I say simulation, what would be the repercussion of your product at ground zero scenario during practical usage? So work smarter. Cloud platform ensures data availability anytime, anywhere, any device. So 3D experience ensures that you can browse your entire design. You can check it from anywhere across the globe. Typically, in case of desktop solutions, that is restricted to our premises, or there are restrictions in terms of viewing it, accessing it. When it comes to 3D experience, you have, or we have, that flexibility to view it from anywhere, to use it from anywhere, to leverage the capabilities from anywhere. Nevertheless, SolidWorks is also continuing with the desktop vis-a-vis with the 3D experience. So it's up to the choice of the end user, and based on the priorities, you can take a call. Nevertheless, it is always better to be in tune with the changing market dynamics as well as technologies. Transformation 3 is work together. So there is a transformation of how and the who across the enterprise. So with the 3D experience platforms, it diminishes the entire silos. So gone are those days wherein manufacturing and design were separated. Nowadays, everyone in an organization has to be on the same page, same platform. So that's the reason therein 3D experience plays a very pivotal and dynamic role, wherein at any point in time, each of the team members to whom we delegate, to whom we ensure the access, they can be abreast of the changing micro dynamics in your entire system. So that's the beauty of 3D experience platform. So with the 3D experience platform, we enable a new paradigm for collaboration centered on data, people, and processes. So the cornerstone of 3D experience platform is people, data, processes. So these three are integral part in any system. We take any system. So bringing these three into a common platform, that's the ultimate objective of 3D experience. So 3D experience, as I was mentioning, multiple applications catering to design, simulation, manufacturing. So this is a video, you can just catch a glimpse.
This is modern day life. A fraction of history made a reality by the pioneers that challenged the unimaginable, unleashing a constant progress of innovation that dramatically improved our lives and empowered economies and societies to grow at an astounding velocity. But the modern world is posing a tremendous strain on our future. Faced with impending environmental risks, disruptive new technologies, and increasingly more complex consumers and markets, today's visionaries must entirely reimagine business models and processes in order to become sustainable while retaining a competitive edge. Challenging the status quo depends on great courage and determination, and by leveraging the right technologies. Dassault Systèmes' 3D Experience platform empowers the next generation innovators to enhance the real world with the virtual world, creating, designing, and testing the total experience, from idea to market delivery and usage. As a system of operations, the 3D Experience platform connects an organization's entire value chain into a single collaborative ecosystem, integrating every phase of a product's lifecycle. From strategy and design to engineering and sales, providing a holistic real-time vision of a business. The 3D Experience platform is comprised by a portfolio of powerful applications, unleashing the full potential of each individual. With industry solution experiences tailored for each industry, it unites people, ideas, and data seamlessly, wherever, whenever, whether running in the cloud or on-premise. As a business model, the 3D Experience platform enables companies to re-architect their value chain, from inception to creation to transaction. Exploring and reimagining roles, relationships, and new circular methods of operating. It is also an extended marketplace, directly connecting sellers with buyers, purchasers with subcontractors, and service providers with end customers. The 3D Experience platform is the only platform that both as a system of operations to run a business and a business model to transform a business. It is a catalyst, leveraging collective intelligence, agility, and efficiency to deliver a new world of sustainable innovations, capable of harmonizing product, nature, and life.
So this is about the 3D experience. As I was mentioning, it's nothing but a business platform which brings everything on a common stage. So when it comes to cloud platform adoption or metamorphosing into the next level, there is a 4R model which is retain, remove, reduce, reinvent. When we say retain, you can retain SolidWorks functional values. As I mentioned, 3D experience is the so you can retain those SolidWorks functional. The same ecosystem as far as support and handholding continues. Then simple to adopt and design automation you can carry out. I mean, embracing this new technology is very easy. And what it removes, how it facilitates your internal ecosystem, and what are the points, what are the areas it eases, it reduces, it removes your hardware overheads, IT maintenance overheads, version upgrade hassles, investment in data management. That's an area wherein any industry or any organization can save substantial amount of money or investment. It reduces also time to market, design and manufacturing errors, department silos, communication gaps. As I was mentioning, everyone can work in unison in a common platform. And reinvent project planning. You can again reinvent the project planning, change management. As I mentioned, when it comes to entire dynamics, everything can be form. That's the beauty of 3D experience. So what are the key takeaways in today's presentation? MNC's global change I was mentioning is it's reminiscent every day. The whole world, including India, is looking for beyond China, that is China plus one strategy. So everyone is focused to reinvent, to make themselves Atmanirbhar in the domain that they are working. India is the fastest growing economy, needless to mention, it's evident. Huge Indian government PLI scheme to incentivize manufacturing. As I mentioned, it is percolated to EVs also to encourage local players. Transform organization to work faster, to work smarter, to work together. That has been the core objective of any entity nowadays. 500 plus proven clients. So when it comes to embracing 3D experience in local level across India, we have customers right from SME mid-market to large entities who have embraced this particular technology, and they are scaling it up with each passing day. So that's what was about the presentation part. So before I conclude, as I have simple line, just reminds me, innovation is about two things. One is to maintain the existing and taking it to a newer level, newer height. That's what is all about innovation. So that's all as far as the presentation goes. Once again, thank you everyone. I appreciate everyone timing. And once again, my sincere thanks to revered chief respected guest of honors. And nevertheless, Mr. Nikhil, who has already all the way come from Dassault system to, experience to have a look at our event. Welcome, Nikhil, also. So thank you, everyone. So now the time comes, hold your breath for the next part of the event, that is the launch of 3D experience SolidWorks 4. So many of you have experienced that we as a Pelf, we believe in innovation at the core of our heart. That's what the mantra is. So every year when it comes to launching our solution, we try to bring the things as per the latest happenings. We have at times tuned the technology to local flavor also, which every one of you, many of you have experienced historically also. Now hold your breath for the next part of the session, that is the launch and unfurling of the new technology, that is 3D experience SolidWorks 2024. So I would like to request honorable chief guests and guest of honor to be on the dais. And may I please call our revered director, Mrs. Himani ma'am, to be on the dais. Mr. Nikhil, could you please share the dais, please? Yeah. Sir, could you please... So hold your breath. All set to go. Let's start. So, I mean, we are related to share that we have ISRO veteran with us, Padma Shri Pramod Kale sir. So that's why, as all of us have experienced the success of Chandrayaan-3, so we wanted to replicate, on this particular event, which is indeed a proud moment for every Indian in spirit. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. Honorable guests, you can please take your seat. Thank you.
Sure. Well, that was a wonderful launch that I have ever seen. Everybody, round of applause for this wonderful launch. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we feel honored to have with us the Honorable Chief Guest, Padma Shri, Mr. Pramod Kale. He has worked for the Indian Space Research Organization in various leadership roles. In his starting phase of career, he worked at the Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, on electronics and space research. Also, he started to work on satellite tracking. Later, he worked as a research student of Vikram Sarabhai. Then he was selected as a team member for the establishment of Thumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station, TERLS, near Tiruvananthapuram. For that work, he was deputed at Goddard Space Flight Center, NASA, USA. and the awards that he has achieved: Shri Hari Om Ashram Prerit Vikram Sarabhai Award System Analysis and Management Problem 1975, Padma Shri Government of India 1984, Shri R.L. Wadhwa Gold Medal of Institution of Electronics and Telecommunications Engineers 1991, Bharat Jyoti Award presented by Front for National Progress for 1999, Aryabhatta Award presented by the Astronautical Society of Indian recognition of lifetime contribution to the promotion of astronautics 2006. And the publications are: he has published over 25 papers on various subjects from 1964 to 1994. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so round of applause for Padma Shri Pramod Kai. Sir, thank you so much for being here. Our next honorable guest is Dr. Shailendra Gade, the Director General, ACE. Dr. Shailendra Gade is a distinguished scientist who has been appointed as the Director General of Armament and Combat Engineering Systems, Pune. He is heading 9 different laboratories of DRDO. He has spearheaded various projects of DRDO, such as ATAGS, that is Advanced Towed Artillery Gun System. Dr. Gade has expertise in the design of small arms, modeling and stimulation, kinematics and synthesis mechanism, and the list continues. Dr. Gade has been awarded for performance excellence for Pinnacle Scientist of the Year in 2013, Agni Award for ATAGS, and many more. Being a PhD from IIT Delhi, he has more than 40 papers to his credit in national and international journals. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Round of applause for him as well. Our first guest of honor is Lieutenant Colonel Dheeraj Dhiman, and our next guest of honor is Lieutenant Colonel Vikram Khajuria. They are from Corps of EME. Lieutenant Colonel Dheeraj is heading Drawing and Specification Wing Vehicle under Directorate of Indigenization. Lieutenant Colonel Vikram Khajuria is heading Engineering Equipment. Both are responsible for indigenization of spare parts. They are posted in Khadki, Pune. Thank you so much for being here, Colonel. And now I request all the honorable guests and chief guests to please join us for the lamp lighting ceremony. Now we will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony by our honorable chief guest as a tribute to Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. May the darkness of ignorance be swept away by dawn of self-realization. I would like to call upon this stage all the guests and all SOLIDWORKS people to light the lamp. Mr. Nikhil, to please join us for the lamp lighting ceremony. I request Leena Bokil to please join us for the lamp lighting ceremony. She is a space scientist. Round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Guest and guest of honors. Thank you so much. We have to remove this setup, no? Or sure. I request the team to please settle down. Thank you so much. Yes, settle down, settle down. And now I would request Mrs. Huddar to please welcome our guest, the chief guest, Mr. Pramod Kare. Round of applause for Mr. Pramod Kare, everyone. Address ನಂತರ. I request our honorable chief guest to please come on the stage, Mr. Pramod Kare. I request Mrs. Huddar to please felicitate him. I request Mr. Pramod sir to please share your expertise, sir. Thank you so much.
I need my notes. I'll just get
Yes,
my notes.
yes. All right, right.
May I help you to give you that? Yes, please. Can I get some water here, please?
Water.
Thank you.
You want water
Glass
now?
of water. Thank you. Good morning to all of you. On this occasion, let me share some thoughts on the design itself, because that's where I can talk about certain things. I don't have too much of experience of using 3D modeling. When we were studying making electrical networks, what occurred to me was at that time that given a network, analysis is simple compared to the synthesis. So for a specific purpose, how to design a particular network, that is really quite difficult. And then later on, when the work experience started, one of the largest structures in those days that which we had to design way back in 63, 64 was that we had a rocket launcher that had come, the launcher structure from USA. And we were going ahead with our own work for designing our own rocket. And so a rocket launcher was to be designed. The launcher had to sustain not just only the weight of the rocket, but when the rocket takes off, the kind of shock it produces, the flames that come out, how the materials would react. And that's how we started some of our initial design effort. Very early, I came across a very interesting book. This was by Buckminster Fuller, and the subject was Operating Manual for Spaceship Earth. The entire concept that he had developed right from in that particular book was, all of us, we are in space. We forget that we are traveling, going around the sun at 31 kilometers per second speed. And yet, we talk about some people who are going out from the Earth as astronauts. Buckminster Fuller had said that we must consider each one of us as an astronaut. And his idea was very clear at that time also. Way back in 1968, I think the book came out. The astronauts are trained to live within the means that they have been provided for, which is there in their spaceship. In those days, there were no space stations, so his idea was that, okay, once the spacecraft is launched and the astronauts are there, within what has been provided to them, they have to live. They have to sustain themselves and make certain that the resources that they have are used wisely, judiciously, economically. And that concept he tried to propagate everywhere. It was very interesting. In 2003, when President APJ Kalam had come to Pune, and there was a lecture that he delivered at the Ayuka Chandrasekhar Auditorium. And one of the students had asked a question, what is your age? And he had answered very nicely. He was in the 72nd orbit around the sun. And that's the real kind of a concept that one has to get through. The reason I brought out about this Buckminster Fuller is that Buckminster Fuller was recognized as the person who designed the clover leaf pattern in which two highways can cross each other and vehicles do not have to come to a stop, no traffic lights required, and the traffic will continue. Same Buckminster Fuller had worked on a very interesting project right from the very beginning. That was his concept. We are familiar with structures, whatever we design. There are certain elements which are in tension. There are certain elements which are in compression. And without compression and the tension balancing each other, the structures will not stand. And yet, Buckminster Fuller was trying to work on a situation where every element is in tension and there is no specific element in compression. That's a very difficult structure to really imagine, but just imagine an engineering marvel which is there in the nature. Look at a nest of a bird, particularly the weaver bird, how it weaves the entire structure, how it develops. And when you look at it, you'll find out that almost 99% of the elements in that structure are in tension. It's hanging, yes, but it's all, everything is in
attention. As a design understanding, I started thinking about it more later, but in the initial period in 1963, on my way back from USA, I had seen the Eiffel Tower in Paris. It looked majestic, beautiful. Didn't understand much about the structures in those days, but later on, in 1968, when I went back to Paris for some work, I spent more time trying to understand how the tower itself is. Now, this was a tower that was designed in 1887 to 1889 time period. And in 1969, again, 69-70, I visited Mumbai, and I saw the initial work starting up for the Mumbai TV tower. Now, both these towers, the Eiffel Tower in Paris and the Mumbai TV tower, they are at almost the same height, 300 and some odd meters or so. But Eiffel Tower looks far more aesthetic, far more pleasing. In order to understand what is the difference between the two, I had asked a question to Professor Satish Dhawan, who had then in 1972 become chairman ISRO. I had known Professor Dhawan from his days in the initial period also as the director of the Indian Institute of Science. And as to why the Eiffel Tower looks so majestic, so beautiful, and not our tower in Mumbai. And so he told me very specifically, look at the structure and try to understand. It is basically a catenary curve. And that's how load transfer was initially thought through by Eiffel. Later on, when I studied it more, I found out it's not just only one catenary, but there are multiple catenaries throughout the structure. Basically, according to Professor Dhawan, when we were discussing this whole subject as to, in 1886-87 time period, what kind of design tools were available? What kind of mathematics was used to actually define this type of a structure? So Professor Dhawan said that yes, it's a catenary mathematical shape which allows you to work with about the proper load transfer, but it's over design. The weight of the tower is 10,000 tons and it uses 2.5 million rivets to hold the structure together. But still it is standing there for more than 100 years or 140 years now. We tried to figure out as to what kind of understanding of the wind loads Eiffel must be having in those days to figure out as to what kind of wind loads can happen and how the structure will withstand. And particularly working more and more when we were designing the PSLV, the GSLV, now later on the LVM3, not just only the launch vehicle, but next to the launch vehicle stands the towers which support initial launch phase, and we have to make certain that there is no interference between the vehicle and the tower when it is taking off such a large amount of thrust. So when we started looking at those particular structures, we started understanding something more and more about the design principles which are to be used in all of our work. While working on the satellites, we had to work with structures made from beryllium for the launch vehicle, made with titanium, carbon fiber, glass fiber, every one of those kinds of things, and every one of the material poses a new challenge to us. We're talking about a 3D kind of a design. And very interestingly, one of the real applications which we actually found out was that when our Indian remote sensing satellite had taken multiple images, and these were available in the stereoscopic form also. We started experimenting with those particular images, trying to figure out as to what else we can do with these stereoscopic images, particularly with defining the digital elevation models. Now, these digital had some very interesting applications. A tourist application was that if you are at a particular point on a hill station, looking out in a particular direction, what view will you get? But the same model also gave us what we can do for our strategic defense also. If you are at a particular location, what can you see and who can see you? So that's the kind of work which we started with the digital elevation model. It resulted finally in a very interesting thing, and that was the flyby on Mars, flyby on the moon also. So once where the images are available, we can actually work on that particular kind of a situation. It also gave us, for this Chandrayaan also, every sensor that is there, every camera that is there, once we define its location and its angles, what view will it get? Will the sun appear in the field of view of a sensor or not? What camera is going to look at what particular location? What view will we get? And using the images coming from the Chandrayaan-2 orbiter, then it was definitely possible for us to define and design a proper algorithm and a full procedure for soft landing on the moon. We had tried this in the Chandrayaan-2 also. It didn't work out well, but in Chandrayaan-3, it has worked. All of you know it, and you see it happening in front of you. It's good that there was some discussion today about, in the presentation, about the sustainability. Can we really design with sustainability in our mind as a starting point itself? In 1966, we used to discuss about the global cooling that was taking place. That was a trend which was noticed in that particular time period. But then later on, it was proven that it was not correct. In the last 20 years, we now know global warming that is taking place. And what is responsible for that thing? The carbon dioxide, the methane, the O3 or the ozone being depleted. All this thing is happening because of the human impact. It is what we call it is the anthropogenic pollution, and that's what is really causing all this. So when we are designing something, we have to design with sustainability in mind. In addition to that, the long life, whatever else we design. I give you the example of the Eiffel Tower. In the same fashion, let me also say this thing. We established our first satellite communication Earth station in 1967. It became operational in Ahmedabad. It is still operational. Some of the things which we have done so far, we're making certain that they're maintained properly and they will really live long enough and complete their design life, but go beyond. When we, what was happening in the schools about 4 years ago, talked about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Remember that all of us are recycled atoms. The atoms don't die. All of us are actually the same atoms, and they will continue to be recycled. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful speech. And moving forward, I would request Mr. Sudha to please welcome our guest, Dr. Shailendra Gade. I request Dr. Shailendra Gade to please come up on the stage. Everybody, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I request Dr. Shailendra Gade to please share a few words. Thank you so much.
Shri Pramod Kale, Mrs. Himanish Huddar, Mr. Shiv Shankar Chakrabarti, Mrs. Gokhale, other dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. Firstly, I would like to congratulate entire team of Pelf Infotech for this 3D Experience Innovation Day 2023 and the way it has been celebrated. I really appreciate the way it has been done. I'm also thankful to all of you for inviting me here and allowing me to share some few thoughts. Actually, I have your time. You already have a long program today for the SOLIDWORKS 3D experience and trying to know the new features of the system. As we all know that it's a very, very important. We can visually see the modeling, do a feasibility assessment. We can completely design a system. We evaluate a system and so on. It provides us to work smarter, work faster. It provides us to work together. It's a package completely. Today we are using it in most of our different systems. And we are really thankful that such a tool is available today. It is very well liked, very user-friendly. And most of our scientists and engineers are using it today. I belong to the ACE cluster, that is Armament and Combat Engineering. I will talk a little more about it. Basically, it deals with arms and ammunition, deals with the high energy materials, deals with the design of combat vehicles, light combat vehicles, and main fighting vehicles. It also deals with a number of engineering systems, which include the robotic systems, bridging systems, shelters, mechanisms, launchers for the strategic missile systems, and so on. And when you come to talk about the armament systems, we deal with variety of systems, starting from small arms to the howitzer guns, 155 mm, rocket launchers. We deal with warheads, fuses. We deal with mines, and so on. We also deal with the tank ammunitions, kinetic energy ammunitions, HESH kind of ammunitions, and so on. Our EME friends know that what is the variety of arms and ammunition today and how they are used today, considering the present situation in the country and considering the global situation today. You can really appreciate that the world for this all armaments and combat engineering is going to be increasing day by day. And to tell you certain things that the systems that are required to be designed, today if you look at the pressures that we handle in our systems, they are of the order of 600 to 700 megapascal. 600 to 700 megapascals of pressure, that means around 6,000 to 7,000 bar pressure inside a gun chamber. And that is required to be sustained by a projectile. With that pressure, a projectile which is weighing something like 45 kg attains a velocity of nearly 1 kilometer per second when it travels through the gun barrel, which is hardly 5 to 6 meters. You can imagine the power of the high energy materials, the power of the propellants. But the systems are required to be designed for that kind of a pressure. The projectile has to sustain that kind of a pressure. It has to sustain 300 degrees Celsius temperature. And it is not only once, it has to happen repeatedly, because the rate of fire that we encounter, it is also very, very high. For small arms, the rate of fire could be anywhere between 600 to 800 rounds per minute. You will appreciate that 600 rate of fire, that means 10 rounds in a second. 10 rounds in a second means 100 milliseconds per round is the time required for you to get the ammunition ejected, new ammunition entered, put it in the barrel, close the breech and fire. All this kind of visualization, all this kind of a design analysis is possible with this kind of tools. And therefore, what we used to do earlier, can I get some water? Whatever we were doing earlier and whatever we are doing today, scenario is changed today. And thanks to these sort of tools available today, and thanks to the ecosystem that has been generated by way of industries coming forward, we are having an ecosystem of more than 1,000 industries today. Bigger industries, MSMEs and startups, all are involved today. Same is the case with the academia today. Not only the IITs, but all the NITs, other state engineering colleges, institutes, research agencies, everybody is contributing today. And the motto is that something we have to achieve for the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And that is the message I am trying to carry today, is that we have to really excel in the area of indigenization to create ultimately Atmanirbhar Bharat. I was giving you an example of pressure. Now look at the velocities that we encounter. All the weapon systems, they are basically on the rate of velocities. I talked about 1,000 meters per second. But there are areas where we have to go beyond that, like kinetic energy ammunitions, which are able to penetrate the enemy armor, and the penetration is of the order of 500 millimeter of rolled homogeneous armor. Imagine an armor plate which is 500 millimeter thick, rolled homogeneous armor, having a property of more than 1,000 megapascal as the 0.2% proof stress, is required to be defeated. The kinetic energy has to be enormous. The kinetic energy projectile has to travel something like 1.5 kilometers per second. It has to be a high density material. It has to be very strong enough to withstand the pressures in the gun chamber and then eventually come out and travel faster, accurately penetrate the armor of the enemy tank. But this is possible today. And the world is going for hypervelocity regime. That means 2 kilometers per second is the velocity and beyond. That is what is the challenge today for the designers. And this 2 kilometers per second is still, I would say, achievable. But now there are warheads which are based on the technology of shape charges. And these shape charges we achieve when the propulsion or the explosion takes place within the warhead. The shape charge velocity is anywhere between 9,000 kilometers per second to 10,000 kilometers per second. Just imagine the kind of, these data look very good on the books, like when we used to solve problems, equations, when we were in colleges. But in the real life situation, these things are possible and these things are happening. And that is how the shape charge warheads are able to penetrate the enemy armor. Their shape charge warheads are the part of the missiles, anti-tank missiles. I'm just giving you an example that how these kind of tools are required to be used for doing a simulation modeling and detailed design. I am throwing some challenges open for all of you that please do this kind of work in your systems. Come and join these kind of institutes, come and join DRDO and work in these critical niche technology areas. When we talk velocities and pressures, obviously the accelerations are also important. Our acceleration levels are in the range of 20,000 Gs. The spin rates are also in the range of 20,000 revolutions per minute. When we talk of the system sustainability, our systems have to survive between -40 to +55. Our ammunitions have to be conditioned. It has to sustain that. And it has to work effectively in all temperature ranges. That is a very harsh condition that we're supposed to deliver. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are at the brink of a time where we need to really accelerate the growth of technologies in our country. We have to work in the areas which are really innovative, very, very challenging, and very, very niche areas. We have to provide solutions to the nation where we really become self-reliant. And today I want to give you some examples. Some of the weapon systems that we developed, like Pinaka weapon system. When we started working, we never knew also that whether we'll succeed or not. Today, the same weapon system is already inducted. Large numbers of orders produced in the country. And there are export orders also. Huge export orders. And now there is a question how to meet the production rate. There was a time when there was a question that how to succeed. Today, the question is that how to meet the production rate, because large numbers are required today and manufacturing facilities are to be set up. I'm sure that all of you your minds will ignite on this changing situation, and these sort of tools will be utilized, I think, for a faster and better growth. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not take much time, only 10 minutes. Once again, would like to wish you all the best, congratulate all the best, all of you for this innovative tool. Once again, thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance. And ladies and gentlemen, I request Mrs. Huddar to please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Vikram Khajuria. I request Mr. Vikram Khajuria to please come on the stage. Everybody, round of applause. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I request you, sir, to please share a few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I'd like to thank Team Pelf Infotech for inviting us on the launch of SOLIDWORKS 2024. At our office, Drawing and Specification Wing, a part of Directorate of Indigenization, we are using the SOLIDWORKS designing software since last few years, and we found it very potent tool for the successful indigenization of the assemblies and components of the ex-import vehicles of the Indian Army. We hope this new SOLIDWORKS 2024 will further streamline the designing process and accelerate the product development at all levels. Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Thank you so much, sir. I again request Mrs. Huddar to please welcome our guest, Lieutenant Colonel Dheeraj Dhiman. Round of applause for Mr. Dheeraj Dhiman, everyone. Thank you, sir, for being here. Would you like to share a few words, sir?
A very good morning to all the esteemed guests, members, and the people present here, ladies and gentlemen. The problem of speaking in the end is that everybody has shared their valuable and almost everything about Pelf. So there's hardly anything left for me to say. But still, I would like to contribute. But what Lieutenant Colonel Khajuria just now said is that the software or the designs which we are doing in the Indian Army, this software is a very important tool and it helps us to understand and make the things more easily and more accurately. Because like what Dr. Kale also said, that there is, when you're designing something, you require to have a lot of accuracy. And if one part does not correctly mesh with the other part in the system, the entire system can fail very easily. So this tool, initially what we used to do in our wing, in the drawing wing, was the things were done by hand and all the things were measured with the help of old tools like the vernier calipers. But presently with this system, with the 3D virtual and reality mixed together, the tool will help us in making the things more accurately, the errors will be less, and the production, like what the sir from DRDO also said, that the point is to enhance the production so that we can meet the requirements for ex-import also. So in case we have a more accurate tool like the Pelf and the SOLIDWORKS which we are using, the production will automatically increase because the errors will reduce because of the accuracy. And so it's very important for us to understand, because we are dealing with all the fighting vehicles in the Indian Army and we are making the parts which were ex-import were not available easily because of certain reasons like the Russia-Ukraine wars. Now the Israel has also come into the war. So the spares are not readily available and the things are, the tanks which we are using generally comes to a standstill because of one small part which is not available. But with this and the Make in India initiative of the Government of India, we are trying to make or increase the production and make the equipment active as fast as possible. In the end, I would like to thank the entire team of Pelf, Mr. Shivshankar Chakrabarti for inviting us and for the excellent show. And congratulations and best wishes for the success of the new three-dimensional tool which Pelf is introducing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Mrs. Huddar to please welcome Ms. Nina Bokil, who is space scientist. Ma'am, a round of applause for you. Round of applause for her. Thank you so much for being here, ma'am. Thank you. And now I request Mr. Nikhil to please come on this stage from SOLIDWORKS, and I request Mrs. Huddar ma'am to please felicitate him. Round of applause for Mr. Nikhil, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I'll announce the tea break. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for tea break. And I want to request everyone that we have kept a selfie booth outside. So please take your selfies. And yes, see you in 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
करूं?
Sure. We have already arranged the tea coffee outside the hall. So please, you may proceed towards it.
बोलो ना लोहित हाँ बोल कहाँ से करते हैं कितना करूं? वो बैनर जाओ क्या? ऐसा कि पूरा कंप्लीट ओके इतना बस ना
लेने तो हमने इतनी मेहनत की, कितने खड़े हो गए, आपको क्या पता। चलो वाइट लाइट दे दीजिए, जल्दी बाद में चेंज करेंगे। ये वाइट लाइट देने का Sir, we are shifting the photo book.
निकालना बैग से पता है ना मेरे बैग में क्यों बेकार नोटिस कर रहा है आपका बैग मेरे पाउच टूट गया मेरे पाउच में पूरा लाखों करोड़ों का सामान होता है मैं लाखों करोड़ों का सामान तो अरे चार पेन ड्राइव थे उसमें 64 नहीं है नया वाला लड़की पार्टी में नहीं आ रहा है वो हो गया तो निकाल ले एक सर्कल हाँ
Technology point of view, quality of oxygen.
मैरिज कॉन्फ्रेंस में क्लिक करेंगे ना तो एक पेज खुल से आएगा मॉडल फोटो सारी
BMX bikes, and I mean, there's nothing else like it. And after the first time I tried that, it was I was hooked on life for sure. It's definitely something I can't shake. Getting into my latter years of high school is really when I decided to take the racing seriously. First it was motocross, and then shortly evolved into racing snowmobiles. I mean, I got to travel all over the United States, traveled to a couple different countries, Canada, Sweden, Iceland. I mean, I was living my dream as one of the best snowcross racers in the world. 2008 came around, I just signed up with a new race team, and a lot of changes happened that year. And I had a new fire under me, and was really motivated to do well that year. And second round of that season, and we were in northern Michigan, the flag flew, and I got this worst hole shot ever. And I went to make a move on this rough downhill section, and I hit a hole funny and bucked me off the left side, and I landed feet first. And on impact, my left leg took the bulk of the hit. My foot is actually laying on top of my chest in the wrong direction. I remember the doctor coming in, and my overall health is deteriorating fast. And at that point, he said, with all these complications, we think it's the best course of action to amputate your leg just above the knee. So I gave the okay and went into surgery, and they removed my leg about 3 inches above the knee center. So the spring of 2009, just a couple months after, I got up on my prosthesis for the first time, I'm realizing like, I need something better. I couldn't find something that would allow me to get back on the snowmobile and ride the way I thought I should. I'm like, I think I could design something. I mean, basically it's suspension component for my leg. From that point forward, I made it 100% focus to try and design and fabricate a new leg that would allow me to get on the dirt bike. I think back to my 9th grade drafting experience and how I looked at things three-dimensionally and just started putting it down on paper. And I didn't have CAD software to do that at that point. It's all pencil and paper and lots of eraser. And so I worked on it for about 6 weeks. I just remember the feeling of excitement I had when I was putting those last pieces together. I mean, this was the thing. This was the thing that was gonna get me back into action doing what I love most, and that was riding dirt bikes. And it was an incredible feeling to solve a problem like that, to build my own leg to get me back into what I really love doing. 7 months after the injury happened, I went and compete at Summer X Games Supercross, and I won a silver medal. It was such an incredible feeling. I realized that there's something here. This device that I'm working on can help out more than just me if I refine it and create it a little more versatile. And then in early 2010, we started BioAdapt with the intent of creating the highest performance lower limb prosthetic equipment for action sport type activities. So my team at BioAdapt here works out really well. I've got Mitch as our CAD designer. All the ideas stem from my mind and what I think needs to be created, and collaborating with him with my pencil paper drawings, just the bare sketches, and then having him be able to start the design and then just send those files back and forth. So he's working on these projects remotely sometimes. So having the ability to communicate these files back and forth, as he's traveling or I'm traveling, is really key, and it keeps the design process moving all the time. What the new SOLIDWORKS software is capable of is it makes the process so much easier and quicker, and allows us to do so many more things. We can build these assemblies on screen virtually, and then we can test them to see where the weak points are. One of the design challenges with this new VersaFoot 2 was having a compact design, but keeping it really strong. We do the simulations virtually, and then we go to the bench and we actually do the real test on the assembly. So we're looking at stresses up to like 500 plus pounds in some situations with dynamic loads. This is the current rev of Motoni, and it hasn't changed much since the very beginning. And the unique part about it is this track roller system. Basically, we've got 2 inches of travel in this shock, and I have to translate that into 130 degrees of movement at the knee joint. I always had versatility in mind with all of our components. I wanted it to work really well for as many sports and activities as possible. At the Paralympic Games in 2018, Paralympic snowboarding, there was 9 athletes that got on the podium with a total of 11 medals, all in BioAdapt equipment. So that was a really proud moment for myself and the rest of my company. That makes me more proud than winning a medal myself. Because I mean, winning is pretty awesome, but when you can really have a positive effect on a lot of other people, that's priceless.
We have this reputation as Bowhead, whether it's to our customers or to our industry partners, that this has to be Bowhead worthy and amazing. So we're using every trick we have in the bag to accomplish this. When someone buys a Bowhead, they're getting the same passion we all have here, which is a love of bikes.
It really feels like we've become a movement. It's just remarkable seeing a company grow so quickly with this passion and commitment and innovation.
Our bikes are complex. They have close to 800, 900 parts. And now we have 3 bikes. So multiply that by 3. We have customer service, we've got operations, we have engineering, we have inventory management, and SOLIDWORKS plays a role in every piece of our company. Bowhead was a one-trick pony in the beginning. We had one bike. I had created the original CAD, so I was just using folders. As the company grew to having more employees, more bikes, more parts, we really needed something for data management. So the 3D Experience platform became a much greater tool for the entire company, from customer service to log things in issues, to shop floor, to talk about engineering changes that they're after. It was this way to bring everybody together to manage an engineering company, not just to engineer the parts.
We're using one of the most advanced CAD tools along with 3D Experience to create and manage data. We're also using it to solve engineering problems. For me, creating adaptive technology means using tools like SOLIDWORKS and 3D Experience platform to create experiences.
The ability to look at tasks on the platform is really important for us to continue to have transparency, or to start to have more transparency within even our own groups. You'd think that that would be easy to communicate with people, make sure everyone's on the same page. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that the important information is in the right hands. Because if a builder, for example, just misses a little bit of information for some reason and not his own fault, we can't afford those kind of mistakes.
You find, as a non-engineer and a non-CAD user, you find different ways of using the tool that wouldn't be obvious to an engineer. By using 3D Experience, things become less obscure and everyone starts speaking the same language. And so just as a communication tool, we finally have one way to bring everybody together.
At the rate that we've been growing, SOLIDWORKS is a key teammate, and we couldn't have done it without them. Bowhead is more than a company. We're really making people's lives better and giving them a new outlook as well.
As India is set to become the 4th largest automotive manufacturer in the world, our automotive component manufacturers have been rapidly transforming to compete and lead on the global stage. By providing employment to 50 lakh people, the automotive component industry is shaping the workforce and accounts for 2.3% of India's GDP. This is the story of how Migma Patron has emerged as the preferred vendor of leading automotive OEMs for manufacturing commercial vehicle dashboards.
Migma Patron was started way back in 1988, but it was only in year 2005 then we shifted to industrial product. If you see Indian mentality in an Indian market, Chalta hai is a very commonly coined term, where even if you go to bigger companies, products are accepted on the terms of Chalta hai. But our commitment to you and to the industry is that no Chalta hai for us. Whatever we give will be a perfect and 100% correct product.
आज ऑटोमोबाइल इंडस्ट्री इलेक्ट्रिकल व्हीकल की तरफ शिफ्ट होती जा रही है, जिसमें कि लाइटर और स्ट्रॉन्गर मटेरियल की डिमांड बढ़ती जा रही है। यहीं पर हमारा इनोवेशन वैक्यूम फॉर्मिंग पार्ट्स के साथ में एक मेजर रोल प्ले कर रहा है। डैशबोर्ड जैसी चीज भी हम आज की तारीख में डिजाइन कर पा रहे हैं, और खास करके अशोक लेलैंड के लिए डिजाइन किया हुआ डैशबोर्ड आज हम global market में export कर रहे हैं।
We are dealing in commercial vehicle segment. This segment is very vast and very dynamic. Inside our company and with the customers, both are very important. I used to collect all the information from our customer. I used to manually intervene and give it to my design team. My design team will run a quick DFMEA and give me the feedback. Once the 3D experience came, I did not have to manually interfere. Once the data came, it was directly passed on to the 3D Experience server and passed on to my design team. They used to run the DFMEA on the 3D Experience itself and give it back to me. Through 3D Experience Works, we got to know each and every time what my people were doing, and I could track it on real-time basis.
करीब करीब 2500 कंपोनेंट्स हम लोग 3D एक्सपीरियंस वर्क के द्वारा मैनेज कर पा रहे हैं। 3D एक्सपीरियंस और इनोवे के कॉम्बिनेशन से डेटा मैनेजमेंट काफी हैसल फ्री हो चुका है। रीसेलर एक्सपेक्ट के मदद के कारण ही हम हमारा जो डेस्कटॉप से क्लाउड में आने का काफी सुविधाजनक रहा। जब से 3D एक्सपीरियंस प्लेटफॉर्म यूज करना चालू किया है, कॉन्फिडेंस साथ में रहता है हमेशा कि मेरा डिजाइन ऑफिस मेरे साथ में है। इसका फायदा मुझे तब मिलता है जब मैं किसी कस्टमर के साथ में इंटरेक्ट कर रहा हूँ, किसी एग्जीबिशन में गया हूँ, मैं किसी भी कंपोनेंट, किसी भी असेंबली, किसी भी डिजाइन को कस्टमर के साथ में शेयर कर सकता हूँ।
To the data, or the data gets misplaced, or there is an issue with the server, I would lose all the data. That's why we moved on to cloud. We saved a lot of infra on IT, and as well it gives us a peace of mind. We know our data is secure all the time.
Water is the basis of life, but 1% of water on Earth being usable for drinking and agriculture. Water is both a global issue and a local issue. With India, as the land of 7 rivers, water being a natural resource, it doesn't seem to be a major concern. Less than 50% of population in India has access to safely managed drinking water. While bottled water today is often seen as the safest drinking water, plastic raises its own problems. WAE, a Noida-based company, takes on this challenge by providing commercial water purification on a large scale to keep the blue planet green.
WAE stands for water, air, energy. So we focused on water first.
Check. I request everyone to please come inside. We're about to start this session. I request everyone to please come inside. We are about to start the session.
Circulation. And our machines are that we designed. They were designed in a way that you can purify any water. Of water which bottled water industry boasts about at a price which is roughly around 7% cheaper.
अभी अगर मैं डिजाइन साइकिल की बात करूं तो जिस समय हम शुरू में काम किया करते थे उस समय हमारे को बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आया करती थी। कभी हमारे सेम डिजाइन नहीं होते थे, कभी रिवीजन के वाइज हमारे प्रॉब्लम आती थी, प्रोडक्शन शॉप पे हमारे को बहुत सारी दिक्कतों का सामना उसके लिए हमने क्या किया कि सॉलिडवर्क्स को लेकर आए, एमएसटी ने हमारे को नए सॉफ्टवेयर के साथ इंट्रोड्यूस किया, तो हमारी जितनी भी डिजाइन साइकिल्स हैं वो सारी की सारी इंप्रूव हो गई अबाउट द 70 to 80%. By 2018, we realized that something new, radical has to be done because the communication within the organization and communication with the partners was a big issue now again. With the introduction of 3D experience, the life became quite comfortable. Design approvals are faster. Suggestions from the rest of the team members are easier. It just so happened yesterday only that we were designing a big RO plants and also suddenly a suggestion came in that if we change panel from 4 to 3, we will be saving roughly around 17% of the cost. We never realized that before. 3D एक्सपीरियंस की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो उसमें हमारा जो डेटा है वो सिंगल प्लेटफॉर्म पर है। अभी क्या क्लाउड डाटा होने की वजह से मेरे साथ मेरे जितने प्रोडक्शन की टीम है, मेरी फैब्रिकेशन टीम है, सभी जो है उसको इजीली फाइंड आउट कर सकती है। डिजाइन की मेरी टीम कितना काम कर रही है हम उसको इजीली देख सकते हैं। इनफैक्ट उसके ऊपर हमारे को कोई कमेंट देने हैं वो हम इजीली दे सकते हैं। उसके अलावा जितने भी हमारे प्रोडक्शन वाले हैं उन्हें कोई नए चेंज कराने उस पर कमेंट देते हैं, हमारे पास नोटिफिकेशन आते हैं, हम उस पर इजीली काम करके दे देते हैं। Most of our products were point of use purification devices. So today now we have point of use taps also because this is something very unique to India. That nobody else is doing it. So we are now designing it in a way so that we can reduce the cost further, can make it more simpler, easy to afford for every household.
India's home to fifth highest reserves of iron ore in the world, easy availability of manpower, and abundant iron ore reserves have made India competitive in the global steel industry. With India's finished steel consumption anticipated to increase to 230 million tons, innovation in steel processing has grown rapidly. At the heart of steel processing are cold rolling mills that shape steel into this ideal form for manufacturing. A leading flat steel processing equipment manufacturer in Faridabad is driving change with its innovative and sustainable designs. Their cold rolling mill designs have resulted in 2 to 3% reduction in the rolling power consumption. Additionally, 356 tons of CO2 emissions are saved every year.
We started this group as DigiDrive, way back in 1993. So our focus has been on the process and the automation, and which then helped us to start this new venture, YogiGDD, for the flat steel processing equipment supply and design and manufacturing. Biggest challenge we face is the equipment we make is so big, and so it takes so much time from the scratch to build the equipment. We have been able to overcome this challenge using the SolidWorks simulation platform, and we could find that whatever the results we could achieve practically are very close to what we have been getting through the simulation results.
In a high-speed rolling mill which we manufacture, the accuracy and precision is down to microns. So there's no scope for error in that, and for that the design needs to be absolutely perfect. With SolidWorks, it has made life a lot easier because you just have to create a working model of the machine on the CAD software, and when we are satisfied with that, the software generates the bill of material for you. The bill of material, which used to take like 2 days, I can send it to my vendor or the customer in just 2 hours now.
We have always been focusing on conservation of energy and the environmental impact of the equipment what we develop here. And so we have developed these cold rolling mills, which we can call them as green solutions because they consume less CO2 emissions. Most of the steel production mills use a lot of water in the process, and our mills, we have designed our mills to consume less and less of water compared to the other mills, and we are able to save around 3.2 million liters of water on each mill every year.
Well, in one of our case studies, we designed the mill housing and the complete cold rolling mill assembly for one of our customers, which ultimately helped us in reducing the weight of the mill housing by up to 30%.
Basically, I was the one who started the project management here at Yogi DG last year. So earlier, what I noticed was that many of the departments, they were working in their own silos. So sometimes working in these silos, it created a friction between different departments. But with the lean team player, everyone is on a common dashboard. Even if I'm traveling or one of my project engineers is at the site, he can just document the observations that he made at the site, and he can just put it online to the lean team player. And I can on the go I can just take my tab and write my comments. And even in the times of adversity, if a person is facing any challenge, I have noticed people just posting it on the community, and the other team members helping him with their suggestions, or taking some responsibility of that project on them. And so I think
All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving forward, let's start our technical session. First technical session is on what's new in SolidWorks 2024 by Mr. Ashish Vanzari and Mr. Kunal Dindorkar, design expert. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for both of them.
Shall we start? Hello. Good morning. Yeah, you're following me. It's not morning. We are at afternoon now. Good afternoon. I hope you all enjoyed your tea. Now you are refreshed. So I will request sit back and enjoy your journey with SolidWorks for enhancement. Before that, I will take a moment. I just want to express my gratitude for you, Pelf opportunity to present in front of you, and we are going to be the witness for SolidWorks launch 2024 event. So I am Kunal Dindorkar, Senior Application Engineer with my colleague.
Myself, Ashish Vanzari, Application Engineer with Pelf Infotech.
So let's start the journey of enhancement. SolidWorks 2024.
We have this reputation as Bowhead, whether it's to our customers or to partners, that this has to be Bowhead worthy and amazing. So we're using every trick we have in the bag to accomplish this. When someone buys a Bowhead, they're getting the same passion we all have here, which is a love of bikes.
It really feels like we've become a movement.
900 parts. And now we have 3 bikes. So multiply that by 3. We have customer service, we've got operations, we have engineering, we have inventory management, and SolidWorks plays a role in every company. Bowhead was a one-trick pony in the beginning. We had one bike. I had created the original CAD, so I was just using folders. As the company grew to having more employees, more bikes, more parts, we really needed something for data management. Tool for the entire company, from customer service to log things and issues, to shop floor, to talk about engineering changes that they're after. It was this way to bring everybody together to manage an engineering company, not just to engineer the parts.
We're using one of the most advanced CAD tools along with 3D experience to create and manage data. We're also using it to solve engineering problems. For me, creating adaptive technology means using tools like SolidWorks and 3D Experience platform to create experiences.
The ability to look at tasks on the platform is really important for us to continue to have transparency or to start to have more transparency within even our own groups. You'd think that that would be easy to communicate with people, make sure everyone's on the same page. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure that the important information is in the right hands. Because if a builder, for example, just misses a little bit of information for some reason and not his own fault, we can't afford those kind of mistakes.
You find as a non-engineer and a non-CAD user, you find different ways of using the tool that wouldn't be obvious to an engineer. By using 3D Experience, things become less obscure and everyone starts speaking the same language. And so just as a communication tool, we finally have one way to bring everybody together.
At the rate that we've been growing, SolidWorks is a key teammate, and we couldn't have done it without them. Bowhead is more than a company. We're really making people's lives better and giving them a new outlook as well.
Well, such a nice video, isn't it? I just want to add some point over here. Mr. Christenberg, who you have observed in the video, he is the person or founder behind the Bowhead. So he is a sports enthusiastic. He liked to go for spinboarding, so biking, and when he was at the age of 20, so he came across one accident. So due to that, he got paralyzed and his lower body was not working. So he was at the age of 20, and at that time, the wheelchairs and other facility that is not up to the mark, which can allow any person to go for the adventure sport and something. After recovery, he just come to know like there should be something which will help the people to go with the adventure sports. Maybe not biking, but similar to that. Then it motivates him to create something that's Bowhead. And maybe like many of you have seen the same assembly in a 3D Experience 2019. So these data set, they have been used in a 2019. Why we are using the same thing in 2024? So data set is highly refined now. And we are moving with the theme that's a Bowhead assembly. So these are some spokes. So in which spoke is highlights, second is improve productivity, third one is focus on design, and fourth one spoke is there. In highlight, we are going to see the enhancement in SolidWorks 2024 and improve productivity that is focusing on where maybe the cutting edge technology with SolidWorks that facilitates us to go and more improvement in the design. Afterward, you might be seen there is one river that has been crossed that is focusing toward the critical area of design and how SolidWorks and enhanced platform with the SolidWorks can help us to improve our productivity. So let's move ahead with the enhancement. So let's start with user experience. That's the first enhancement in 2024. So the first enhancement here, I just want to share with you, that's a hardware acceleration. So with some simple settings, you can have the better enhanced acceleration as compared to the previous version. Second enhancement in user experience, that is output of the coordinate system. So yeah, SolidWorks facilitates you to save your data with respect to the origin particular component. So you can observe over here that they have provided you two different subsettings, which will allow you to save your part for particular origin. And many more extensions they are supporting, and you can save your part from 2024 onwards. So let's move to the next. This is the acceleration what I was talking about. So earlier you can see two frames where one system can show you the high response acceleration, whereas compared to the same, another one is little bit slow in response. So afterward, you will get higher in response, and SolidWorks 2024 onward system will support you to get a better and faster response. So let's move to the next.
So good afternoon. So now we will see what are the some highlighted enhancement in SolidWorks 2024 in parts and features segment. So for that, I will directly switch my tab to SolidWorks screen. So as we have discussed now, this is the same bowhead assembly which we shown earlier. So now in today's session, we will use all the parts and assemblies from this bowhead assembly only. So first enhancement in SOLIDWORKS 2024 in parts. So for that, I will just open one linkage part of that assembly. So now, as you can see, here are some sketches. And first enhancement in sketches is that you can directly use your previously drawn sketch for your revolved cut command, and in that new enhancement is that you have new option for flip side to cut, by which you can cut the outside part of your sketch. So as I use this command, so you can see we directly cut the outside part of the sketch. So it helps your designers to reduce their designing time, because previously designers have to do two settings on their system to create this command, but now you can do by just small settings on your system. So moving forward in the next enhancement. So next enhancement is in the bounding box conditions. So as you are aware that bounding box is very much useful for estimating the material, or if you want to know how much material is required for your creating the part. So previously there was only one option called rectangular bounding box, but with the help of SOLIDWORKS 2024, you can use the cylindrical bounding box, by which if there are any parts of which are created in cylindrical or in conical, you can just use your cylindrical bounding box condition, and by just giving you surface, you can estimate the how much part you want to require to create that assembly. So it is also one of the best enhancement which comes under SOLIDWORKS 2024.
True, Ashish. So up to it, we can judge like with the cubicle things, like we can see the how much envelope area that part will consume. But what about the cylindrical things? Again, like checking the area with the cubical envelope for the cylindrical one. So yeah, SolidWorks listens you, and they have developed this enhancement for you. So let's move for the next.
So next enhancement, which is very much important for all our customers or designers. So now onwards, you can save your SolidWorks file in previous two versions. So just to click on Save As button, and you can see you can save your file in SolidWorks 2022 as well as in SolidWorks 2023.
Amazing. Many of you must be waiting for these. Like, can we save the current version format into the earlier version? Yeah, SolidWorks to save your current format into the previous two versions. Many of you might be thinking, why two versions? Gentlemen and ladies, I appreciate this curiosity will be addressed in upcoming session with our expert, and you will get the answer for this question as well. So let's move to the next enhancement. Over to you, Ashish.
So the next enhancement in part bodies are in linear pattern command. So as you can see on the screen, there are some parts features which you want to pattern in your body. So for that, I will just select the plane on which you want to pattern that command. So for that, I will just choose linear pattern command. You just want to select the plane, and now you want to pattern these shapes on your both sides of the body. So just select the pattern command, and you can see we can pattern that. Just I am giving some desired dimensions. 1 minute.
No problem. So before moving ahead, I just want to share something. Up to it, the thing is like when we are trying to do the linear pattern in two different directions. So what we are doing, like we are choosing two directions, right? First one direction, second one direction, and definitely we will select the feature. So yeah, to save this time when there is symmetric linear pattern is required, what we can do. So now onwards, like from 2024 onwards, you will be getting the facility, like you will choose the reference, select the feature what you want to pattern, and the next will be here. One option is there, the symmetric. That symmetric option will allow you to do bi-directional linear pattern. So you can see the output, and definitely that will help you to save the time. Yeah, yeah, Ashish.
So moving forward, so next enhancement, it is in the surfacing command. So suppose you want to create some outer covering for this part. So how you can do that? So for that, I will just do the offset command. So just giving some dimensions 0, so it will cover that part, and you have created some surface on that body. But now with the help of untrim command, you can select that surface, and just new enhancement is that you can exclude the parent feature. So what it does is that we will see. So excluding the parent feature, so I have just completed the command. You can
hide the existing part using tab command, and whatever the result that as an outcome you want, you can see this. So this will be helpful for the people who are working on surfacing, mold tools. Definitely that will be the useful command for those guys and save their time. Yeah, let's move for the next.
So for the next command, I will use another part. So here, next enhancement, it is in the sketch part, which is widely used in our industry. So first, we want to create some squares here. So for that, I will just use 3-point center rectangle, just selecting the dimensions and created the rectangle. So but after giving some good dimensions, what we have to do is that you want to go to the smart dimension command and give dimensions. But now from SOLIDWORKS 2024, you just want to select that edge where you want to give the dimension. It will show you the preview of that dimensions. As you can see, it shows the preview, and you can directly edit that, and you can give desired dimension to that. So as you can see, I have given the dimensions without going to the smart dimension command and exaggerating that. So not only you can give dimensions, you can also give angles to that also.
So for choosing more than 2 entities, you will need to hit a control button, you are already aware, but we are doing this with the single click, and that is definitely save the time of the person who is doing modeling, right? And this is the beauty of SolidWorks. They are always working on the things like how they can save your time as an end user. They keep listening you, they keep working on it. Let's see for the next.
Not only you can give angles, but also you can add relations. As now we want to give equal relations to that, so I will just click equal, and you can see we have easily created a rectangle, square with some few commands.
So using this sketch entity, he will try to put up some hole on this, and that will again save the time. So
the next enhancement, it is in the hole wizard command. So as you already know, we use hole wizard command to create standard types of holes. So but from now onwards, what are the enhancement in hole wizard? So for that, I will just create some standard dimensions and selecting the positions. So now as you can see on the screen, we have a new command called existing 2D sketch. So with the help of this command, you can directly use your existing sketch part to create the your hole wizard patterns. So as you can see, it creates all the holes on the corners of that existing sketch. So this is also one of the pretty tool which you can use to increase your productivity and reduce design costs. Not only that, you can use instances to skip command to skip any of the holes which you don't want.
Agree, Ashish. And definitely that will help us to save the time and locate the multiple hole with the sketch only. So yeah, you can skip the unrequired holes, plus with some simple and less clicks, you are getting the exact required output. Let's move for the next.
So moving forward. So after that, we will see what are the new commands in Sketch. So for that, I am just opening one multi-body assembly. So as you can see, this is the assembly part, and here are 3 components. So previously, if you want to create some parts of your multi-body, you want to save your part and give some extra commands to create the multi-body. But from now onwards, you have some good command called make multi-body part. With the help of that, you can directly convert your multi-body with a single part. And addition to that, you can transfer all the relations which are adding in that assembly. So for this, I am adding surfacing bodies and material and just giving that command complete. So as you can see, we have created a multi-body part in which all the relations of surfaces and solids also are come here. Not only that, all the materials which we assign to that assembly part are also comes in this single body part.
So this command, it has been a good enhancement now onwards. Thus, in assembly itself, you can create multi-bodies plus you will get the exact output. I will come to the benefit over it.
Some of the best enhancement which comes under SolidWorks 2024 in part assignees. So just giving some highlights for that.
Yeah, these are all just for improve your productivity. So what we have seen up to it, we can save it up to previous version. That's last two versions. Flip side to cut revolve. That is the enhancement they have been developed for us just to have the flip, the pattern for the pattern will be the wrong word, my bad. To flip your revolve command in a cut. So cylindrical bounding box they have added for your cylindrical part and components. Then sketch dimensions for the preview. You can simply click one time on your sketch and you will get the sketch dimensions. In hole wizard, already we have seen with reference to your sketch, you can add your holes and positioning will be more easy as compared to the earlier. That will help you to save your time. Then in pattern, we have seen a symmetrical pattern. So before we were going to use for bidirectional, here you can use a reference and that will allow you to go for the symmetric pattern. Then for surface modeling also, we have seen trim, untrim surfaces. In assembly also we have seen some commands. In part level also we have seen some commands. Make a multi-body part, that is we have already seen in assembly.
So there are some settings, some settings which improves your productivity. So as we told you, for enabling this enable sketch period dimensions.
For your current work 2024. So this just we want to let you know on this. So let's move for the next. So these I have said, like I will share some benefits like creating the multi-body and surfaces. So to create multi-body in assembly and surfaces, so what we are getting like SolidWorks team offering us a better way to show manufacturing options, linked assembly, that will be the associated one. And overall mass calculation and fillet bed, that we will get very accurate, and it will be helpful for the people who are working in a jigs and fixture designing. You can get a better references and that productivity will definitely improve. Other transformable entities are already we have discussed about solid bodies, surface and many more. So let's move for the next.
1 minute.
No problem. Yeah.
So now we will see what are the new enhancement comes under sheet metal and structural systems. So sheet metal and structural systems are the one of the widely used products in our industry. So for that we will directly switch to SolidWorks tab. So I will just open one sheet metal part. So this is also an assembly of the bowhead component. This is the carrier in which you can share, you can transfer your bowhead assembly. So as you can see, these are the parts which you have created in sheet metal. So with the help of SolidWorks 2024, how you can create these parts very easily, we will see now. So for that, I will just open some roughly created SolidWorks sheet metal part. So now you can see we have one part, and now for completing the part, we want to do some our old commands like copy with mates. So for copy with mates, I will just give it some dimensions and some relations. So
this is semi-developed part, working on it. Believe me, copy with mates is mine also the favorite command. It is saving much time of us, right? I hope you agree. So after this command, we can get the desired output. And over to you, Ashish, for next discussion.
So the next thing we want to do in this assembly, that we want to join all these components. So for that, previously what we have to do is that we want to do welding for that, or we want to do tab and slot. But with the help of SolidWorks 2024 new features, now you can see we have a new command called propagate slots. So with the help of propagate slots, it will automatically detect all the slots where you want to do slot command, and just clicking that, just completing that, you can see we have generated all the slots on this body.
Yeah. So let's try to open the component where that slots getting propagated, and you can see the desired output. So again, earlier you used to go for like apply the slot, then it was not replicating for the other parts. Here, again, you can save your time and go ahead and you will get the desired result. Let's see for the next.
Next enhancement in sheet metal is that suppose you want to create some stampings or some shapes which you want to do stamp on your part. So previously what you want to do is that you want to use forming tool. But with the help of SOLIDWORKS 2024, you got the new command called stamp. So with the help of stamp command, you can directly create the stamping structures on any of your sketches. So as you can see, we have one square rectangular sketch. So with the help of stamping, you can create stamping very easily. So I am just giving some desired dimensions to that, and you will see the preview of that.
So meanwhile, he create the exact required output. I just want to share some benefit. Earlier,